whenever you see a picture or a video of the Russian PPsh-41, there's a good chance it's going to be paired up with its standard factory issue 72 round drum magazine. Okay, so if you were to have these two on paper and you look at the specs, you've got a very high fire rate submachine gun that's relatively portable. You've got a high capacity 72 round drum magazine. Now, you add them two together, what have you got? You've got a great trench raiding weapon. You've got a relatively small platform that can spit out a lot of lead, so it's good for fire suppression. Of course, the one weakness for this was that you're giving these to conscripts who don't have much military experience. A lot of these were used before the PPsh-43 was developed, so basically when the Russians were getting hammered by the Germans. So what you would find was a lot of conscripts were spraying and praying the entire magazine. They'd be out of ammunition. Obviously, once the volley of fire's over, the Germans pop their heads up and just wipe out the Russians because they ran out of ammo because they've just sprayed everything. Another issue that started to develop with the drum magazines was in the downtime, Russian troops, they would put all of their weapons together and they would clean them all together. A lot of the times the drum magazines would get mixed up, and this is where an almost fatal flaw was discovered, and that is drum magazines tend to be very, very specific to the gun they're paired with. So what you will find is the drum magazine that was issued with the submachine gun out of the factory will work just fine. However, other drum magazines from other guns, say they were to be used with this one, you will have endless feeding issues. You'll even have some fitment issues. You may not even be able to get the drum magazine in. Now, this isn't exclusively a problem to this submachine gun. It actually happened quite a bit in the Second World War with other firearms. But predominantly for the Russians, this was a big issue. And that's why they introduced the stick magazines. Not only were they a lot cheaper to produce, but they could be used universally across any PPsh-41. The magazines themselves, they were single stack 35 round. So really, you're not losing out that much capacity. You could carry a hell of a lot more of these in a standard magazine pouch than carrying these, which had very large bulky pouches. So really, the trade-off was a no-brainer. Ditch the drum magazines, which were often found to be very finicky and unreliable when used with other submachine guns other than the PPsh-41 it was issued with, and just use these. Of course, a lot of the stick mags didn't really survive the war, and you will find now that a stick mag can cost 4 times as much as a drum mag. You can find these online for about £8. These I've seen go for anywhere from 35 to 50 onwards, and a lot of them are in very rough condition. But I just thought I'd give you, a little insight as to why you don't really tend to see the stick mags, and even though you don't see them as much, and you don't see them in media especially, why they were the much better option. And unfortunately the Russians found that one out the hard way in the war. But yeah, that's just a little video on this. Cheers for watching.